Hello, good night. This is U.S. Immigration Attorney Sharifa Tharb. I am here live to take your questions and also to talk about a way that you are able to get your papers while here in the U.S., even after an overstay or if you have entered without inspection. This is a way to be able to fix that situation to get your papers here. So this we're going to talk about a situation and a situation that could qualify you for what's called the T visa. And if you notice the title, it says, "Have you been mistreated by an employer?" And it's more important than ever to bring awareness to this issue because I know that there are these people out there that are using the current climate to be able to make people feel as if they're helpless. Hi there, Donovan. Make them feel as if they're helpless. Immigrants are helpless. You have no rights. Employers, unfortunately, they do this. And how do I know? Because I represent hundreds of immigrants that go through this. And we are able to get them safety and security, get them their papers here so that they can escape the situation. Or if they've been through the situation and they've already left, we are still able to help them to get their papers here and get their family the papers as well. Now, I'll give you an example. If you are here in the US, hi there, Jimmy, Jim Boy. Hi, Yusuf. Nice to see you. Thanks for joining me tonight. Now, if you are here in the US and you have an employer who you were recruited by that employer, you were hired by that employer, and it doesn't matter if you went for the job or if you asked for the job or they recruited you. What matters is you got the job. And then when you started to work, they started to do things like give you tasks that you were not willing to do or you did not agree to do. But now you're in the situation, they're telling you you have to do it. And if you refuse, they start to do certain tactics to make you compliant. For example, they may remind you about how volatile the immigration system is right now, and you need to comply because you never know if you get let go from this job, you could be deported, you could be picked up by ICE. They find ways to instill that fear in you that forces you to continue to cooperate with them, continue to work and do the task that they want you to do that you were originally unwilling to do. Other situations may qualify you for this T status as well. For example, if you were recruited, you were told there were certain terms. You're going to be paid a certain amount. So say they promised that they were going to pay you $20 an hour. Maybe you were hired by a group home to take care of people in a facility. They told you, okay, you're gonna be able to come and stay there. And a lot of immigrants like that arrangement because to them it's they get to stay somewhere, they get to live somewhere while also working. But say you're in the group home, you may be doing it right now. You may be watching this live right now, and you're in this situation where you're working in a group home and at first, when you were recruited, they promised you $20 an hour. They told you you just do 12 hours. So you'd work from maybe 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. And, they will have somebody fill in. You'll get to sleep at night. You'll get your own room. And then when you start to work, maybe you find yourself sleeping in a closet, or worse, staying in the client's room. You're staying in their actual room on the sofa. They're paying you less. So they're finding ways to pay you less. Either they're not paying you on time. Maybe they've told you, well, they can't pay you for the first couple of weeks because you had to train. Maybe they tell you that you have to pay rent, so they're pulling money out of your pay. Maybe they tell you that you don't have immigration status, so they can't pay you what they promised you. But that's the reason you took the job, was because of what they promised you. That is also, and if you can think of other ways that they're reducing your pay. Maybe they're paying you, not paying you every time. They pay you sometimes, but then some weeks they're skipping those payments. And then now throw in the climate of what's happening. They're now starting to throw ice here and there. They're now starting to remind you that you don't have any rights, which is not true. You do have rights. That, my friends, is does possibly qualify you for the T visa. It's a likelihood. If you're in that situation, you qualify. And I know this because we are getting approvals for T visas right now. And in addition to that, we have gotten approvals consistently based on situations like this, right? So, and the reason for this is because you are put in a situation you were not willing to be in, but you started to be forced to stay in that situation. So if you are in this job, you're being overworked, underpaid, not paid what you're promised, missed payments, late payments, more work than you agreed to, more hours than you agreed to. They're pulling rent or fees out of your pay. All of a sudden, maybe you're even owing them money. You need to talk to us. Let's find out your facts and look at this option. This option is very valuable. It's a very, very valuable type of relief. For example, in the case where we saw the big Hyundai raid, and I don't know what the situation is, but over 300 South Koreans were working at the Hyundai, uh, facility, and they have been taken in. And because what they're saying is that they didn't have their papers, so they have been detained. The thing about that is, how is it that you have 300 South Koreans that don't have their papers? And those are situations where you really have to screen for the T visa, because were these people in some way, shape, or form being forced to work under these conditions? And here's the why this is so valuable. The T visa can get, if they are in fact victims and they were forced into this situation, they could actually get out of detention and instead walk away with a T visa, right? So keep in mind, when you apply for the T visa, it provides protection from deportation through a bona fide determination letter that's issued with a properly filed T visa application. Your spouse, your children under 21 and unmarried can apply as derivatives and get the same thing with you. You can get your work permit while you wait, which is a 4-year work permit. And then upon approval, you and your family get the T visa, and you can go on to get your green card. And because you've applied for the T visa, if you had any inadmissibilities that they forgave during the T visa phase, you would then move on to get your green card, and they would not hold those inadmissibilities against you. So it is very valuable. And in these cases, the ICE and the USCIS immigration officials do take this seriously. They look at the circumstances carefully and determine whether they should release you and give you the opportunity to pursue the T visa. So, and keep in mind, even if ICE decides based on their discretion that they're not going to release you, a judge would also consider that. And we have been able, when we have been able to show that our client qualifies or is in the middle of applying for a T visa, we have been able to get our clients out on bond pending their relief, because the court is going to wait and see, okay, where does this go? What's the final decision on the T visa before deciding whether to terminate the case and allow the client to move forward with a T. Keep in mind that getting a T visa approved stops removal altogether, as if it never happened. So it terminates it and it is no more. So that's another benefit of the T visa. And this applies no matter how you enter the country, no matter if you have your papers or not. If you're going through a situation like this, it's time to call. And I brought up the group home, but this is in all situations that you're feeling somebody is making you feel trapped, and they're using certain tactics to keep you feeling trapped. They may use tactics to keep you in fear. They may threaten you indirectly or directly. They may find ways to keep you short on your pay, because guess what? If you're short on your pay, how are you going to find money to leave? Right? These are the kinds of situations that force people to stay when they're not being paid, they're not being paid enough, they feel like they have to keep working, working, working to make that money. That is also considered coercion, right? And if they lie to you for you to get the job, they lie to you and you take the job, then you find out they were telling you a lie. That is trafficking by fraud, and that's what the T visa does. The T visa provides relief for individuals, to individuals and their families for things like this. In the past week, our clients, and the time is going by so quickly, it might be a week or past 2 weeks. Our client was here, got approved for the T visa. His family was in Jamaica, his wife and his young daughter. He hadn't seen his family since 2021. Well, guess what? They got approved and they are now here with him. They got approved for the visa internationally at the embassy in Jamaica, and they have that visa now to join him here in the United States and be able to move forward with the green card next, all of them together. So this makes a huge difference. And that's why I say we focus on solutions. This is why, because while many people are saying, even that very same employer who is telling you, who's indirectly threatening you, is making you feel like you have no rights, even in this administration, they review and they are reviewing and approving T visas. So keep that in mind. This is a very good form of relief, and we are changing lives with it. We've changed many lives with it in the past, and we continue to see results. So that you can legally, when it's in the books, it is based on the law, you can move forward and apply for it. Right. And once you qualify for a form of relief and it's properly filed, you are actually empowering yourself to get legal status. You are going to be at a loss. You are going to be more at risk doing nothing, because once they detain you, you have nothing to go off of. Then deportation can move quicker, can move at a quicker pace because you have no relief. How much is your consultation? $150. You can go ahead and call the office. The office is 24/7. Now, if you go to any of my videos, you go to the page, you go to the link in the profile, you'll be able to contact us directly. You can even schedule your own appointment. You can fill out our initial evaluation form and then go ahead and book the appointment yourself. If you need help, we have our team that is working 24/7. We're a pretty close knit team, and everybody is on board and invested to make sure that we're helping as many immigrants as possible find solutions to this situation, because there are legal solutions. We are making a difference. We are seeing results, and I want you to be able to experience that as well. All right, so now I'm going to answer questions. So let me go ahead and scroll through. Hi there on Instagram. Nice to see you. What if it happened a year ago? Doesn't matter. I got approval for my client. This happened to them 30 years ago. And they were just floating through life here in the US for 30 years. They were just at a loss, didn't know how to fix their situation, were just hiding, afraid, thinking there was no hope. And many people told her the only way was through marriage. Well, she now has her papers, and the next thing we're doing is applying for her green card. So she's in the middle of her green card process based on the T visa now. And she was smuggled into the United States. So she came in without her papers and she was smuggled into the United States. That was 30 years ago, over 30 years ago. So no matter how long ago it happened to you, this is still a relief for you, right? A lot of people don't know for a long time that they can qualify, and so there's no time limit on when you can apply. Great question. All right. Okay, so I see a ton of questions coming into TikTok, so I'm going to answer there and then I'm going to move to YouTube and Facebook next. I filed for my T visa almost 2 years ago, get no answer as yet. The processing time is a little longer. For those who applied August 28th, 2024 and afterwards, which means anybody that applies now gets considered for bona fide determination and a work permit. For you, it's almost 2 years. You should get a correspondence soon. Do I need to file? Do I need to wait to apply for my green card if I got my asylum approved? Yes. So you have to wait a year. And once the year comes, then you can apply for the green card. What's the process if my husband is in the military? It's the same process, I don't know what your situation is, but same process. Sometimes you can expedite depending on your spouse's situation, but yeah, same exact timeline process. In some cases, we may get it expedited. If you came into the country without permission, you first have to apply for military parole in place to be able to qualify for adjustment of status. You can give us a call, talk to us about your situation, and then let's get started. I was on J1 program a year before I got approved. Okay, so I don't know what. Do I need to wait to apply for a green card if I got my asylum approved? You don't need to wait. I mean, yes, you need to wait. You need to wait for that year. Now, the J1, no, when you're going for adjustment of status, through asylum, it may be different because once you get asylum, they're not looking at, the J1 2-year foreign residency requirement. The asylum is based on the adjustment of status. The green card is based on the asylum. Me and my sister, we applied for I-485 7 months ago based asylum. She got approved last week, but I didn't. And sometimes that happens. They are treating your two applications as completely separate. So yours might be a little ways behind, but maybe it's coming soon. They are doing extra screenings for fraud, so that is also something to keep in mind. Do petitioner and beneficiary need to sign after interview for 2-year green card? Yes. Now, if you are in a situation where you can't apply with the petitioner, there are ways to be able to get forgiveness. We help our clients in both situations, whether they're applying together or whether you can't apply with your spouse anymore. In that case, your spouse or maybe your step parent, if it's a parent, in that case, there are 3 waivers by divorce. If you're mistreated or if you're going to experience extreme hardship if you lose your status based on a hardship that came to be in the most recent 2 years before your green card expired, then you can move forward. You can talk to us. We can focus on the details to be able to help you get there. But give us a call and talk to us. One thing I would like everybody to know, I don't want to scare you, but it is serious right now, and I feel compelled to tell you this is the ways that the policies are setup, it's more complicated, and there's more emphasis on procedural requirements. And that means that if a single mistake can land you in court, because they're being, right now it's almost like any mistakes, any denials, notice to appear, right? They don't give you a chance to fix it. As soon as you get denial, you get notice to appear at the same time. And people are getting this even when they have an H-1B, for example, and they get terminated. They immediately are getting notices to appear even during the grace period. So you don't want, and once you get notice to appear, it gets even nastier. So you want to make sure you do this right the first time. You make sure you get an attorney that understands the steps to take, because a lot of people don't understand the steps because you're not an attorney, you don't do this on a regular basis. But now immigration is taking a harder stance on these and saying that they have the right to deny the application and give no chances to fix mistakes. So make sure you get it right. That's by first consulting an attorney and then hiring the right attorney to get this going. And we help with this. You can always give us a call, talk to us, so that we can determine how to move forward in your case. I already applied for asylum, but still waiting for interview pending. This undocumented, I'm not sure what that means. How long after the 180 days do you have to wait for the work permit and SSN? For asylum, we see it, so we apply a 150-day mark, and we usually get it 30 days later. If my mom abandons her asylum, will mine also be canceled since I was a minor when it was open? If you're a derivative, yes. If you applied separately, then no, it's gonna be separate. But if you're a derivative on the application, yours is gonna be canceled. My USCIS says step 3 of 4 complete. Attend interview if necessary. Current steps. So they're just going through their processing, the process that you have to go through. Usually, attending the interview is a necessary step, and they're doing that across the board. So it's not out of the ordinary that they're saying it's necessary now. U.S. citizen parent sponsor adult unmarried children prior to date 2020. How long for I-130 to be approved? It could be a couple of years, just because it's a 5 to 7 year process. So it's not on their priority list to approve the I-130. It's faster. If I worked with fake documents for a week on pass, can it affect my family petition? Yes, you need an attorney for sure. That can lead to and I don't know what fake documents, but misrepresentation, fraud, which is very serious. There are waivers available to get forgiveness. However, you want to be prepared. I would have to understand what the facts were. What kind of ID did you have? What did you say? What did you put on your papers? Did you put you're a U.S. citizen? Because guys, saying you're a U.S. citizen is one of the worst things you could do. You will not be able to get a green card or adjust status here if you ever claim to be a U.S. citizen on any employment documents. So that's serious. So give us a call. Let's talk about your facts. That's going to be super important in this case. How long it take to be approved for a green card based on marriage? So it could be anywhere from a few months so it could be anywhere from 4 months to even a little over a year to year and a half. How can I apply for my husband green card? I'm a U.S. citizen. He have work permit. We are legally married. Where did he get the work permit? As a citizen, even if your spouse has overstayed the visa, keep in mind that you can still apply for him to get his green card. Give us a call. That's exactly what we help with. And you want to make sure you do it right. It is doable, but we have to make sure to get on it, make sure we include the right evidence. What do you think about the BIA that came out today about the bonds? So I haven't read that. I don't know if you're talking about the. So right now there's a lot of restriction on bond to anybody who entered the country without permission. The stance is now that they cannot issue bonds to them. I'd have to look at that decision to see what that decision says, but that is the latest thing now that is making it really hard for some people to get out on bond. How long it take to be approved for a green card based on marriage? To answer that, it could be 4 months to a year and a half. How do you check your passport at the embassy? So I'm not sure. It depends on the context. He came with asylum visa. He didn't have his interview yet. He lived in the U.S. almost 6 years. I know that sounds like a follow-up answer. Okay. Okay, so he has so he was granted asylum, or he give us a call. It's possible to apply for him as a U.S. citizen, but I need to get all the facts here and then move forward with it ASAP. My daughter applied for my green card, and my account showing your case is taking longer than we expected. Yes, that can happen. Hi, and it doesn't mean anything with you specific. A lot of people get that message, so it doesn't necessarily mean anything. Right now, they're taking a lot at their more time to evaluate for anti-Americanism. They're looking at social media. They're looking for any possible evidence of fraud. So may slow down as a result of that. My mom is a resident since 2001, apply on 98. She didn't petition me, but mentioned me on the application. So that no, that may be a section 245I. If you're here in the US, you definitely need to talk to us to determine whether this is a section 245I issue. Now, section 245I, if you are a derivative on the application, if there's a labor certification filed for you, or a petition filed for you before April 30th, 2001, then you may qualify for adjustment of status based on that. So we'd have to talk to you more about it. And this is whether you cross the border without permission or you're here without your papers. Section 245I can give you, can excuse that and still give you your adjustment of status here. Thank you so much for the gifts and the love here on TikTok. That is how people see this info. And as a matter of fact, thank you everybody too for your comments, and because that's how people see this live and see the information, and are able to empower themselves with the information they're getting. What is criminal charge at this? What if criminal charge, dismissed case, or conviction by a judge? So conviction is definitely a bad thing. Dismissal can be a good thing, just depending on what the facts are. So we'd have to get the facts here. Anything with criminal offense, you need a lawyer, you need an immigration lawyer to look at those consequences. I've IR1 visa and due for citizenship, but we don't file taxes together. What do you advise? Give us a call. Let's talk in detail about what you're concerned about, why you don't file your taxes together. It may not be an issue, but it may be an issue. So, is it true 200 questions will be asked when doing a citizenship interview? They are going to make it harder. So, it's coming. We don't know exactly what those changes are, but it's definitely, they're going to make it more challenging. Motion to terminate possible detain my husband, detain. I've been here 12 years. So motion to terminate sometimes can help your case. It just depends on the facts. Marriage certificate or courthouse marriage. What other proof I need to file for the green card? A lot more. Give us a call because marriage certificates, filing just a marriage certificate is going to be a red flag. So we can help you with that. We can definitely help you and your spouse to put a solid application together. How can I get your number? I need to talk to you. So the number is at the top of the comment section. And if you go to any of my videos or go to the link in the profile, you'll see the number there as well. So give us a call. We're 24/7 and our schedules are filling fast. So you want to make sure that you get on our schedule. You can even use the link in the profile to schedule your own appointment after filling out an evaluation form. Hi, is it a problem for me if my husband is 2-year card and don't work after months of getting it? That should not necessarily be a problem. Do you guys help apply for green card for a case like that for marriage green card? Absolutely, we're very good at it. We have, knock on wood, I have yet to have a marriage based denial. So, and we have helped many couples to get to the green card. So, absolutely, this is what one of the things that we focus on. Uh, I've IR1 visa and due for citizenship, but we don't. Okay, so talk to us. Let's make sure that there are no concerns, or how to approach those concerns. What's considered immigration fraud? Using any fake documents, you omitting information that you know is important to the case, lying are all considered immigration fraud. Can I apply for him citizenship since he lived almost 6 years? So no, he has to get citizenship for himself, and he has to qualify the green card, maybe. But we'd have to see what's going on with your spouse to be able to determine whether you can apply for your spouse's green card. I was deported 10 years after I was given a visa to return to the U.S. I've been a citizen. Can I, and I don't see the rest. Can I travel safely? I would not be able to tell you specifically because I don't know all your facts and I'm not your attorney. Sounds like if you got deported, they forgave you, you came back, you're now a citizen. Um, it should be fine, but is there something new in your background you're concerned about? Definitely talk to an attorney to get advice specific to your case. Do you recommend traveling right now with a work permit? Not travel? No, you can't travel with a work permit. You can't travel out of the side of the United States with a work permit. Domestically, you may be able to travel with a work permit. Domestically, you have a valid current work permit. You're at a lower risk for something happening versus someone who's traveling outside of the United States with a travel document. Because coming back in, travel documents, they do also make note that officers have the discretion to deny admission if they've, determined there's something in your background that stops you from entering. We live in NY. Do you help all 50 states? Absolutely. We represent clients in all 50 states. Hello, can someone with expired DACA go visit a detainee at a detention center? I would not take that risk. If you have an expired DACA, it means that that deferred action is no longer. That protection is no longer. Do you speak Spanish? We have Attorney Diana, who is Puerto Rican. She speaks Spanish, and Attorney Diana is our senior associate here. And we have Spanish speaking staff, so you can call and they will definitely speak with you in Spanish. Our legal team is bilingual and speaks Spanish. Assault dismissed case is not a criminal charge. Is it admissible? Does it make you inadmissible? I guess. So it depends on how they dismiss it. Believe it or not, if they dismiss it in a certain way, it can still be considered a guilty charge. So this is where I say when it comes to criminal conduct, you can't take that for granted. Even if there's a dismissal, you need to understand what the consequences of that is going to be. Instead of K1 fiance visa, what if I marry her first in Liberia and bring her back home as wife? That is possible as well. I have a green card conditional, and I will apply for I-751, but I did mistake when I was applying in I-485. Go ahead and give us a call, talk to us, because yeah, you want to make sure you approach any mistakes carefully. If I got citizenship through parent but got a felony, can I travel abroad? If you are a citizen, they shouldn't be holding any felonies against you to travel abroad. No, they are making moves to denaturalize certain citizens. So, if before you became a citizen, did you have this in your background and did you not disclose it? If that's the case, I would be a little worried. Will the sponsor get in trouble if her husband get 2 years and still not working after 8 months having it? No. They're not going to look at where you work, and they're looking at is your marriage, does your marriage continue to be real? If you legally got married only 3 months, can you still apply for the spouse green card? Yes, you can apply the day after you get married. You just have to be smart and savvy about it to make sure you have everything lined up properly, so you don't risk your immigrant spouse getting any kind of notices for deportation. Um, Somebody said that it would take less than time if I marry her there and bring her back to the US as my wife. So I would say K1 and the marriage base, they're running on the same timeline. So the advantage of getting married is that once your spouse enters, she's a green card holder. You don't have to go through the adjustment of status process again. A few people I know are being pulled into rooms. Are green card holders safe to travel? They may do that with even green card holders. They may put them in secondary inspection, and mind you, they are targeting green card holders if they spot anything in their background. Do you think they will check in I-751 the mistake? They may. Yes, they're going to look back at the whole record. If he didn't get his asylum interview yet, can I still apply for his green card? If you're married, you qualify for that. Yes, that is possible. All right, so now I'm on YouTube and Facebook. Thank you for educating us all. If you're out of status overstay almost 5 years, can you still apply for a T visa? Is the application at risk of denial because of overstaying your visa for 5 years? Great question. That's what the T visa is there, is to provide relief to people no matter your immigration status. They're not going to look at whether you overstay. I would say 99% of my T visa clients have overstayed or entered the country without permission, because the T visa's focus is not on necessarily on that. It's on the fact that you went through something and you deserve to get that relief. My green card is under review from since 2022. How long do I have to wait? I'm not sure, and that's a long time. So it depends on what's going on in your case. If you file for T visa, how long will it take? So right now, processing times are almost 2 years. In between, you get a bona fide determination letter that protects from removal, and then the work permit that gives you the ability to work here legally and show an ID here. And then the decision comes at about the I would say 18 to 22-month mark. How much time will it take to renew BFD, EAD based on pending URT visa applications? Will these EADs come automatic 540-day extensions while renewal is pending? So those are 4-year work permits. So they should decide your case before your card expires. Well, applying for SNAP benefits based on T visa, which is not public charge, affect green card. So under this administration, what I would say is the T visa is usually exempt from the public charge rule. So they should not be holding public benefits against you. But believe it or not, guys, immigrants are not out there, and I might be preaching to the choir, but immigrants are not out there taking benefits. They're working for every dime they get. And if they get benefits, they qualify for it. But under what a lot of people don't realize, under federal and state laws, it's very hard for immigrants to get it in the first place. Most will be denied because it's very restrictive. So if someone is getting it, they definitely are in need and they qualify for it. If expedited request is approved for T visa, in how many days they'll process application? It could be a month, it could be more, even up to 4 months. It still takes a little bit, but it's faster. Takes a little bit, but still faster. I got my work permit and social security 3 months ago through asylum. Awesome. Congratulations. When I made appointment, will I get to talk to you? So we have attorneys here. I am very busy. There's not enough time in the day, and I'm so busy working with a team to strategize to make sure our cases are going out, and the cases all have what it needs to have. Our attorneys that I work very closely with, Attorney Deanna, Attorney Bria, they do the appointments, and they are very much like me, where they break things down and they look for these options. So that's how it works here. Um, Now I got a woman who's a U.S. citizen. Can I go ahead and marry her and cancel the asylum? Give us a call, talk to us about it. It's yes, it's possible, but we'd want to understand more to help you to make decisions strategically. Um, if someone overstayed and filed for asylum, can her daughter still file for her for green card? If the daughter is a U.S. citizen, age 21 or older, yeah, sure. If someone overstayed, can they marry a green card holder? They can get married, but they would not qualify for adjustment of status. That green card holder has to become a citizen. Can they still look back into background even as a citizen? They are doing that for some people. So that's what they said their focus is as well. So they will look at applications. Um, all right. I filed VAWA on November 23rd. I got 1 year prima facie. The 6 months, would there be a reason I would get a third one, or how soon should there be a decision? So it's about 3.5 years to get that decision. So you'll probably um, get the more prima facies. If my son's citizen stepmom filed I-130 September 2024, still no approval. She refused to continue with the adjustment of status. What do I do? I am the mom and I now have my green card through marriage. Give us a call. It depends on a lot of factors here. You could potentially petition for your son, but we have to know what's your son's age. And we have to know different details to be able to advise you. So schedule an appointment and let's talk. My friend is qualified for T visa, but he has criminal case record. Would that be possible for him to get the visa? It's still possible. We'd have to look at the criminal conduct, but there are ways to apply for forgiveness as well for it. If someone has an SIJS approval since 2023 and EAD for 4 years, what does the person need to do? So did they go ahead and apply for adjustment of status next? Now they may have to wait for the visa number to become available to do it. But that would be the next step, is adjustment of status to get the green card. I have my I-751 with my N-400 interview coming up on the 9th. All the best. Make sure you prepare for that. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for your time today. I'm going to head out. I will see you on Monday. Thanks for all your questions. If I didn't get to your question, please save your question and join me on Monday. In the meantime, like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell. That's going to help you to get notification when I join, so you can ask your questions, but also will enable others to see this information that can empower them through their journey. So thank you all for the love. Thank you for the likes. We have 2.5 thousand likes, and we have so many great questions coming in on Instagram, on Facebook, YouTube, and TikTok, of course. But I have to head out. So I'll save your questions and ask it on Mondays, where I can spend some more time with those questions. Stay safe, everybody, and take action. Be solution oriented. Walk in faith. Be solution oriented. We're doing this at this firm. We're focusing on what we can control and what we can do, and we are getting results. So keep you do the same. Take the action. You can give us a call, talk to us, and we can determine what you qualify for to be able to fix your papers, fix your status, get citizenship if you're already a green card holder. So go ahead and contact us. That's going to be the best way forward. Have a good night, everybody, and stay safe for the weekend. Bye bye.